Hi, Addie and Eleanor and anyone else that is working virtually today. Today you're going to listen to Pilgrims of Plymouth. And I'm trying to get the best camera angle on this story because this is a big book. This is not a little small one that I can just hold like I normally would. This is a big book from the classroom, and I was happy that I could find it because I moved classrooms last year and this has been missing, but I was able to find it. So I hope that you enjoy it. This is nonfiction. These are actors, and if you go to Plymouth Plantation, if you ever have an opportunity to go, they dress up like Native Americans and Pilgrims, and they act like they are, you know, from that century, 400 years ago, and they're living like they did back in the day. So it's very interesting, and I hope that you enjoy this story. Pilgrims of Plymouth by Susan Goodman. This is a little pilgrim boy on the cover, and hopefully this book stays up. Let's see. All right. Are you grateful to gobble up turkey on Thanksgiving? At their first feast, the Pilgrims had many reasons to be thankful. And this is probably what the first Thanksgiving looked like. They had left England and crossed the ocean safely. There's the Mayflower. They had built a new home in America. Here, the Pilgrims could pray in their own way. Here, some of them would own farms for the first time. So they didn't have an opportunity to do that in England, but here in America they could. Let's move this book over a little bit. There we go. But life was not easy for the Pilgrims. They had to do most things themselves. Pilgrim men built their own houses. They grew their own wheat and corn for bread. They hunted ducks and other wild animals for food. They practiced being soldiers so that they could protect their families. It's very important because they didn't know what dangers lie ahead here in America. They didn't know this land at all, and they didn't know if there were people that wanted to hurt them here. Pilgrim women took care of their homes and children. They grew vegetables in their gardens. They cooked food over open fires in their houses. Remember, they didn't have stoves like we do today. That's how they cooked their food, over a fire. They baked bread in outdoor ovens. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. That's pretty neat. So again, if you go to Plymouth Plantation, you would be able to see this, and I want to take my kids there someday. Pilgrim children did not go to school. Instead, they learned how to do the work they would do as grown-ups. But they still had time to play. They liked to blow bubbles and play marbles, just like all of you. Our children still like to play. No matter what century you live in, how many years ago you lived, they still always like to play. The Pilgrims got help from their Indian neighbors. Right there. The Pilgrims traded with the Indians. They gave the Indians tools and cloth. They got animal furs in return. The Indians showed the Pilgrims the best places to fish. They also taught them how to grow corn. And they're putting the fish in the soil, provides nutrients, and it helps whatever's in there to grow. The Pilgrims worked hard, and their settlement grew. Settlement, another name for a settlement, it's like a town. And this is what it looked like. And I love this book because it has realistic photos of what it was believed to have looked like almost 400 years ago. The Pilgrims lived a very long time ago. Their houses and clothes didn't look like the ones we have today. But the Pilgrims talked and laughed with their friends. Pilgrim parents loved their children, and they tried to make a good life for their families. The Pilgrims were real people, just like us. Notice their clothing looks a little bit different, but they're still smiling, and they like to have fun and play just like all of you. And I hope that you enjoyed that nonfiction story about the Pilgrims. And I will see you next time. Bye, boys and girls.